hidden.
Well, hello and good evening. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 4, A Case of Chiaroscuro, first aired in 2026 today. But here in 2026 today on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your podcast, our mission to watch every episode of Strange New Worlds continues. This is your captain speaking. I am your host, Dave Mader. And we have a top tier panel to break this moody genre bending adventure down. Coming in first, he is tuned into every shadow, every contrast, every stylistic flourish that makes this episode a visual standout. Noir lives and dies on lighting, and Jim is already tracking every frame. It is Jim, the casual Noland.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, this episode actually kind of hit a bit home. What was the photography and the shot choices and the compositions? I kind of liked it. Well, I dug it anyway.
Jim dug it, and we'll be talking all about it. But also joining us here, he's following the motives, the resources, the economics of occupation, who profits, who resists, and who manipulates the truth in the dark. He's already mapping the hidden currents beneath the Matar, 12 crisis. It is Adam Woodward.
Hey guys, Jim, when I read your comment about on the chat earlier, I was thinking, oh boy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Wait, so do you like it? I'm not really sure because we seem to be a little bit of
it's always like, if I like it, everybody else hates it. If I hate it, everybody else loves it. It is a running trend with this show.
Indeed. Yes, we are talking about a case. I'm sorry, not a taste. I want to say a taste of Chiaroscuro. No, it's a case. And yes, in our chat, like there's been some controversy of late, because Jim and often Jody tend to watch these episodes in the morning. I guess this predates you.
I typically do. I missed them this morning. That's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Jody is the other example of that. That's been going on since longer than you have been around, Jim. But
yeah,
and some people do not like it. Some people are like, I haven't watched this episode yet. Don't tell me if you liked it. Don't even tell me if you hated it. Nothing. Don't even tell me any of the guest stars. Nothing like that.
Yeah, so, apparently not.
So people are fickle about their spoilers. I'm not one so much, but there are the people. So
right.
So anyway, there was some thanks this week because everyone's like, we kept it down. Was it as spoiler free as some of them I liked?
I was up this morning and I quite frankly forgot it was Thursday and didn't. But typically I do. But when I came in tonight, there was nothing on there. So it was other than, hey, I liked it. So that's fine. That's okay.
Jane said, if you even say you liked it, it could be a spoiler.
No.
At this point, I believe that. I honestly do believe it. I'll say this.
Say whether you like it.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I was half expecting to get my ass reamed because of it, but when it comes to this episode, it's kind of like the grading on a curve because it's no secret I did not enjoy one damn bit the last two episodes. This one brought it back up just a little bit. Not quite what the first episode was, but it's trending upwards again, which is kind of ironic because as I was flipping through YouTube randomly today, every other reviewer that I kind of tend to like agree with, they fucking hated this one. Like, I think a lot of the quotes I was seeing was like, it's become what was it? Like sketch Trek or Quark Trek. Like they're just throwing out random ass ideas and making it Star Trek, and they are really starting to give up on it. At least I'm still trying to give it a chance.
I disagree. I would say this episode was very, like, the pace was very slow, very original series slow.
Yeah.
But there was some really good parts of it. You had to, but man, it didn't feel like a quick episode to me.
Yeah. Okay. And so, just to set the stage here, this is the 34th episode overall of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, the fourth one this season. Came out today, August 13th, 2026. Written by Skylar Oeda and Dana Horgan, and directed by Mira Menon. And in this one, the Enterprise sends Una, Mbenga, and Uhura to quietly retrieve a malfunctioning probe, only for radiation from the local star to render the entire world in stark black and white. Not even just the planet, but the entire.
No.
Neat idea. That right there is kind of cool. I like
Yeah.
that was great.
And I like the fact that they explained it in universe as to why things were black and white, not just that the photographer, the director wanted to shoot the episode in black and white. There's an actual in-world explanation. So credit where credit is due.
Yeah. Hey, Sam.
Oh, hey, Sam. Glad to have you with us. Yeah. So spoilers from this point on, we will be talking all about this episode. And yeah, so a Klingon D7 cruiser is present. This landing party runs into Core. You know him?
Yeah. That kind of
John
threw me for
John Kalikos, yeah. Great Canadian actor who played the original Core.
It's the same actor?
No, John Kalikos long dead now.
Oh, okay.
But I guess the actor they had for play Core in this episode, I don't have his name in front of me, but I thought he was actually quite compelling.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah,
he had a really interesting energy to him in this episode. So and his performance was very interesting. So all that, and Uhura and the whole, I guess, like the alien planet, and finding a way to insert this genre, because they went full film noir for this episode. Even the scenes that are only on the Enterprise are in black and white.
Yeah.
So it's monochrome the entire episode until the very, very final shot, except for like the credits. The opening sequence was not made black and white. They kept that in color.
Well, except for like one shot where the Enterprise is like flying above a cityscape. You see like the searchlights. That was in black and white, which I couldn't remember if that's what was shown in previous sequences.
Me either. I don't remember that, but maybe it was. So Una gets mistaken for this alien, this native of this planet. At first a collaborator with the Klingons, but actually also a resistance leader. So she's kind of playing both sides, and she not only looks identical to this person, but sounds identical to this person.
Yeah.
So, convenient. Uhura gets arrested and interrogated by Core with this like mind scanner thing. And Benga's present also in this episode. He doesn't do a lot, but he has some interesting conversations. But he's not. He doesn't have much to do. He's there for someone to talk to, I think, a lot of the times.
I think he's there to kind of explain like the position of the resistance, because of course there's a resistance against the Klingons, and he kind of like divulges the tips and tricks that he learned when he was fighting the Klingons back in the war, like because he has that one line about the little radio transmitter chime thing that apparently Klingons can't hear certain sound frequencies, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently it is.
Their hearing, I know that Cardassians their hearing is not as good as humans, but I didn't know about Klingons.
I'm pretty sure that's what Mbenga says, because it's halfway through or so, and they're in the bar, and that weird machine that looks like a xylophone attached to a motor starts going off, and that weird chime goes off, and Una says something and like it's like off key or something, and Mbenga says it's set at a frequency that Klingons just can't hear, like dog whistles. Kind of thing.
Interesting.
I mean, that's basically what it is, and I think that's why Mbenga was there. It's to give an explanation as to how this resistance is functioning around the Klingons, because he has fought them, tying the stories together, basically.
Yeah. And there's also a B plot, if you want to call it that, on the Enterprise with La'an, who she's trying to trace down this mystery. It has to do with her paranoia, but then she does solve it by the end and realizes that Chapel is hiding a secret, and then she covers up Chapel's secret as a favor. But it feels like that's coming back at some point, you know, in a future
I didn't
episode.
think that was very strong.
No, I didn't either.
And
we'll
Dave,
get
the guy who played the Klingon, his name is Demore Barnes. He's a Toronto native. He's done a lot of TV work over the years. Most notably, recently, he was in the Law and Order Special Victims Unit for 25 episodes, 12 Monkeys TV series for 24, and on and on. But he's pretty prolific Canadian actor.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen him in something. You know, and hey, always good to see one of our own. You know, making.
Well, it's in Toronto. They're just picking everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like it's.
You're telling me the director just leans out the window of the studio like, "Hey, anybody want to be in Star Trek?" And just
almost
a bunch of Canadians show up.
All the agents in Toronto and saying, you know, bring your guys forward.
Pretty much any actor, based in Toronto, is been on one of these Star Trek shows. It feels like, or The Boys, over the last few years.
It's like you know, Doctor Who in England. Everybody's been on that too.
Yeah, everybody has been on Doctor Who. Yeah.
Okay, so just with setting all the stage, like Adam, did you enjoy the episode overall? Like, what was your feeling on it?
No, but I did like parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was getting really actually quite tired of it. About two-thirds through. I was compelled for the first, I think, third. It was interesting.
And where did it lose you?
It started. I want to say when Uhura was captured.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's almost the part after that for me, where it's like everything kind of wraps up in this story a little too fast, a little too neatly for me, because like they let Uhura go, and that feels so easy, even though she kind of gives herself away by saying she grew up in this forest with green trees, which nobody on this planet would say that, but Kor apparently accepts this answer that she gives, despite the fact that he has a mind scanner and also tricorders, presumably, and he could just scan her to realize she's human and not Mataran. But I don't know.
I would agree with that. I think that, you know, the whole choice of the away team was weird here, aside from Una, because that makes sense.
Well,
but
this is the other thing. What was the original mission? Go get a probe, and bring an engineer with you. Like that seems like an obvious away team member you would need for a probe retrieval.
Yeah,
maybe a science officer who potentially knows more about probes, maybe. But you know, like Spock could go on the mission, I guess, or Scotty, or both, or take both of them. Both of them had more of a reason to be there than Mbenga, but they decided that this was the particular trio they wanted to have in this episode. So we get Mbenga, Uhura, and Una, and it's fine in one sense, but like because once they're there, they just have to kind of try to survive and wait out until they can get like, you know, they can sort of escape from the planet. But you know, why were they there in the first place? And I think for me, this whole explanation around the radiation causing this to be a monochromatic place. I kind of like. I just wish that like they just kind of yada that, right? And like they never really like. I was like, is this like even scientifically feasible, or is this just like a completely like made up thing? That
from what I understand, it's definitely possible with like certain wavelengths of light, depending on how your brain interprets them. Like basically because of the cells in your eyes on your retinas, when light comes in, it determines. Oh, he's back. Because of the cells in your retina, the
cone cells.
It's the cones or the rods or one of the two. It doesn't matter. But basically, it interprets certain wavelengths as certain colors. That's why we see what we see. That's why people with different color blindnesses see, you know, greens as blues or reds as oranges or whatever it is. And the like with it just being regular light, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Well, maybe not perfect, but
Good enough.
They strictly say radiation.
They say
And
like this
it's like
star
black
system
body radiation or something.
There's some kind of phenomenon that causes this. It's pretty unique
Right.
to this part of space, which is all fine, I guess. I can get on board with a lot of that, but like at the end where she like as they leave that area, she goes back to color, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then why wasn't every scene on the Enterprise in color? If like leaving this area gets you back to like color, then technically like they didn't want to flip between black and white and color between the two places.
Maybe what happened was when the editor was putting it together in their program, he put the black and white filter over everything and forgot to chop out the sections aboard the Enterprise, and it just came too close to time to send it off, and he said, screw it. And that was it.
Or they were going to do it like back and forth. And like, I remember when they used to do the Captain Proton episodes on Voyager, that it was quite a stark change when you would go from black and white to color and back and forth. Right. But,
but you know what though? Like, I think it really worked on the planet.
Yeah.
But it did not work on the Enterprise. Like,
no, I agree
set
with that.
was meant for color.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It felt very flat when they transitioned up to the Enterprise.
Well, and that's where one of my major gripes of this whole thing comes in, is that the black and white by itself is fine, right? Behold, the black and white is fine on its own. However, there are quite a few scenes where when I saw them, I could only imagine them as being a deliberate in-camera choice when they were filming. And specifically, it's when Una is in the bar and she's talking to the Resistance member after she was captured, and her face is being lit up and it is completely washed out. I mean, like, they've got a 5,000 watt solar light just blasting her face, and it washes out everything, and it just looks bad. It looks muddled. And the only way I could picture that, because if it was an after effect, that's an odd choice. So it would have wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it means that somebody running the camera had to crank that iris open on the camera to let as much light in to wash out Una's face. And then they did it at the same time when they were back on the Enterprise. I'm waiting for it to happen. I'm just counting it down until it happens to me. Just waiting for it to happen.
I can't do it. You have to do it yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll work on that here in a second. But it happens again when they're talking with Pike about the missing data or whatever, and the light's coming through the windows and everything's just washed out. That annoyed the crap out of me, and it made me think the Voyager episodes were shot so much better in black and white.
Yeah, like it was great when they did it on the show. Like I've never been a fan of black and white, with some exceptions, but generally speaking, it's not my favorite medium. But if the story's really good and it fits, I love the movie Sin City. I think the film Clerks works in black and white.
Yeah.
There are things I accept in black and white, but generally speaking, I'm like, if you can do color, just do color, But anyway, I get it. For one episode, it's whatever. Yeah. Okay, before we can move into screenshots, we have one more final important discussion point that I think needs to be touched upon, because this is not the first time we see Klingons in Strange New Worlds,
right? But
this is definitely a Klingon who has a name, Kor. We know this Klingon, and we have a new actor, whatever, but he's portrayed as having ridges. When John Kalikos played him on original series, he did not. Now, this in Enterprise, Adam, they set up that, the flathead Klingons, they had the augment virus, and then they lost it, and eventually we know that Kor does have ridges because he has them by the time Deep Space Nine comes along. So there was always this idea that they cured the virus or they did some kind of cosmetic surgery, but it seems like Strange New Worlds has decided that we're doing away with all that, and we're just saying every Klingon has ridges like TNG style. And are you okay with this?
The only thing I'm not okay with Klingons is what they did in Discovery. So I'm fine that they did this. Like, you know, it wasn't over the top or anything. I think that he was convincing.
But you would take the Blingons from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies with the piercings throughout the ridges.
I'm okay with those because at least they still look like they have ridges. Like, even though the piercings is weird and that's not something we normally see, but I could buy that. Like, Kronos is a whole planet, and there could be somewhere on Kronos that people like to pierce the ridges, I guess. So I can accept that. You know, that they have different cultures within.
Well, didn't they do that in Undiscovered Country too? With oh my gosh, Christopher Plummer.
Well, he didn't have any piercings per se, but he had like
he had the eye patch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I think for some reason I thought he did. Okay.
Maybe the daughter of the.
Didn't he have earrings or something though? I think.
I don't think he did, but
I don't remember.
Okay.
But yes, my preferred version of the Klingons is the TNG style, like, which is basically what we get in this episode. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just like, is there not continuity anymore? Like, did we not establish that Klingons were flat ridged, or at least some Klingons were flat foreheaded and didn't have the Klingon look at this particular time?
Has there been any other like prequel era show that has had the Klingons have the flat foreheads besides Enterprise? Because there hasn't, has there?
Only Enterprise and original series, and they did reference it in Deep Space Nine. Like,
right, the reference. But I mean, like, on camera, full on appearance besides those shows. No, they haven't. Is it just one of those things where we're just kind of like, I mean, I guess quoting Worf, just kind of sweeping it under the rug. We don't talk about it because we didn't have the budget back then.
Right. I guess that's what I guess there seems to be a retcon that the Klingons just always look like this.
Yeah.
And any, like, the original series, you know, just let that go.
I think we have to accept that in the original series they just did not have.
Yeah.
They didn't have a vision of what the Klingons were. They had the vision of what it was in 1966. Not in 1987 or whatever.
I would accept it if Enterprise didn't go out of its way to make a whole story about this in the 4th season of their show to try to explain it away, right? So now they're like, it's like they did all that stuff, and you're like, well, never mind all that. So,
I mean,
anyway,
the same thing. We're not gonna. Yeah, the same thing could be said about the Vulcans, because I'm pretty sure in like the first couple of episodes, I think Spock refers to Vulcan as Vulcania or something.
He's Vulcanian, yes.
Vulcanian, right. It's really weird, and I'm really glad they shortened that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I have to agree that it's just kind of like they were, you know, working things out. They didn't have a clear vision. And then finally, when the motion picture came around, they actually had like the full on.
I know all that. But in the year 2005, they made a whole bunch of episodes about like trying to explain this, right? And now we're saying none of that mattered. Like, that's the part I object to. But like, you know, I accept that in the 60s they didn't have the ability, then they did, and then they changed it. That's all fine. But then if they had decided, okay, well, we're just going to retcon this, you know, but I guess when I think after they did Trials and Tribulations, where they actually like, okay, let's take this crew and take them back in time to the 23rd century, and they kept everything consistent with the original series, including the look of the Klingons. Yeah. You know, like, to me, that's canon at that point. You've made that canon, and don't mess with canon unless you have to.
That was also on the 30th anniversary of Star Trek? That episode?
It was around the 30th, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it was just supposed to be like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, haha. We're making a joke about our own show.
A little bit. Yeah. But it happened. It was an episode.
I know.
Anyway, okay, that's it. We're not going to come to a conclusion here. I needed to get that vented out before we get into screenshots.
You already know there's an article somewhere that somebody's written up to explain away everything.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that said, we will go into screenshots now. Here we go.
Yay! In the YouTube reviewing community, there are two separate but equal entities: the people reviewing the show and the screenshots they have to use because of YouTube's bullshit copyright system. These are those screenshots.
All right, here we go, everyone. So we start off here with the Enterprise sending the shuttle. We get the Commander Una Chin Riley's log explain the situation that a Federation probe drifted into Klingon territory, a planet that is occupied by the Klingons, known as Batar 12, and they're going to head over because if the Enterprise itself tried to cross this border, it would be a big, huge red flag. But a shuttle can kind of go in more subtly. So they're headed that way to try to retrieve it. This is also an unusual part of space, we're told. This is why everything's monochromatic. And Dr. Mbenga, with his whispering way, explains it a little bit, that there's radiation that removes the ability to see the color spectrum effectively.
Yeah.
In this part of space. So they're heading in and looking for it. What happens here then?
Uhura is like, she's trying to read the readout on the sensors, but she can't really discern what it is because they're usually like color coded.
Right. They tried closing the blinds of the shutters to see if they can, if that helps tune out this radiation, but it doesn't. It makes still as black and white inside as before.
That would have been again. I would have loved to have seen that everything goes color when those blinds got shut.
That actually would have been kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if they could like put up the shield to make it color again, right? Or something like that. So there's also a quick conversation here with Mbenga and Una where he congratulates Una on her recent promotion to commander. It's also in her log. She mentions I'm newly promoted to commander from lieutenant commander. And Mbenga also points out the fact that, you're just one promotion away from captain, which is also, so I am convinced at this point they are going to promote Una, but probably by season 5 to captain, especially since her husband in real life, Jerry O'Connell, was promoted to captain. His character, Jack Ransom, on Lower Decks, was made a captain. So they're like, this cannot stand. We must make Una, or I guess Rebecca Romaine, the actress, also a captain because O'Connell must not rank her. And so she,
you know that kind of guy. That guy would be like lording that over her. Like,
he has been all over. So now they have to undo this. Anyway, so they're heading to go get the probe. They get the proximity alert, and what is it? It's a D7 battle cruiser. As intimidating in black and white.
So, guys, no, it's not. One thing here, like, so they have a proximity alert against the D7, but the D7 doesn't see them.
Yes, the D7 doesn't detect them because I guess they're smaller. So they have to run evasive maneuvers, and so they call over to the Enterprise and Pike, and he's like, "You need to hide right away. Like sort of disavow everything and get onto the planet until we can get you out of there."
Why did the question from the chat? Why did the Universal Translator stop working for the Klingon dialect?
Not clear.
Did they say that?
Well, there's just like, even when they're on the planet, like what language are they speaking? Are they speaking Italian? Right? But Klingon is like this language that the Universal Translator doesn't work on. If you speak Klingon, you just hear Klingon. Like it's like, I don't know why. Anyway, so they decide that they're gonna go hide on this planet. They end up they look for somewhere to go, but this entire planet apparently is cities with very little rural areas or so they have to go pretty much to one. There's an electromagnetic atmospheric barrier here that's a naturally occurring thing that also makes it harder to come in. So they're looking for somewhere to land, which eventually they do find, but knowing that they're getting detected, and they arrive, I guess, at this it's like the capital city or whatever it's meant to be.
They're trying to avoid detection. They go to the most populated place.
They go to like the most populated city and to like where Core is hanging out, but it's fine. This planet is obviously it's obviously in black and white, but it's also like it's got a lot of at least Hindenburg style, like
it looks
glimpse.
like London or Paris or Metropolis. Yeah, it looks straight out of World War II, which is, you know, the whole resistance thing. It's a thing.
It's a whole thing. What was that movie with, like, from the early 2000s? That was
Sky something.
Yeah,
Captain in the World of Tomorrow with Jude Law, I think.
Like Gwyneth Paltrow and a bunch of them back in the day.
Oh, and Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie.
Right. So yet another homage here.
Yeah.
Anyway, they complete the landing. They decide that they're going to hide the shuttle and get like civilian clothing and try to blend in while they hide, because they don't want to stay here. They know that they were detected, but they don't think that they could detect who landed. So they don't know. There's no reason for the Klingons or the Metallans to believe that there's any Starfleet here right now. So they make their way into this populated city that looks like Gotham City, I guess, from like the 1940s pulp things, and they eventually make their way down this street. They got their slick jackets and fedoras to go around. Noticing that the Klingons are here. There's collaborators. There's a lot of the politics of that in place as the Klingons are subjugating these people.
Very subtle with the armbands, by the way. Very subtle.
Yeah, you said 1940s. I guess, yeah, like 1930s or 40s is definitely like the era they're going for here. Are these fedoras pretentious? Perhaps.
Maybe. There are a lot of them.
Yeah. Anyway, like,
was that guy in a clear, like, transparent raincoat? Oh no, it's just wet. Never mind. Okay,
it's white and wet. I guess
it's white and wet. Okay,
I can colorize it later to figure it out. But, anyway, so they run into this other guy. His name is, it's something like Stamper or something, and he's one of the collaborator guys. He immediately recognizes Una and pegs her as being this resistance leader named Yvette, right?
Navette. Yeah.
Navette. What are you doing here? Da 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 da. But they
his
seem
to recognize. His name is Roman, by the way.
Roman. That's it. Okay,
you were close.
Yeah, Roman pegs her, and now this is like the teaser for the episode. Who are you? Are you Navette? So then we get our credits, as we mentioned, we're in color. And then after credits, we come back to exactly where we left off, where she's being mistaken for this native Navette person. So they decide to go along with it. Because they don't have a lot of other options, and they think they can maybe get some more information here. But so she, I don't know, she falls well, I'd say, into like this pretending she's a gangster role, which is kind of what she's going for in this part. They head into this bar lounge where everyone's getting the drinks. There's the piano playing. There's cigarettes. Like, it's just Earth in 1940s. Like, nothing else to really say about it.
Does this fall under the category of like completely random alien planet just happens to be a lot like a previous period on Earth? That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
guys?
But you remember, like, there was like original series episodes where it just happens to be the 1920s gangsters, or it just happens to be ancient Rome.
Those episodes, though, like, I did like those.
Yeah,
or it just happens to be Nazis on this planet, or just whatever, right? So they've done it all. So I guess they're in the spirit of that. This fits, I guess.
At least it's more explainable and acceptable than the one on Enterprise where there was a planet in like the Expanse that had like the Western town or something.
In the Expanse?
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was one of the worst episodes ever.
Well, of course you would say that, but
that's why every episode of Firefly paints him.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what episode that was in a minute. Just
okay.
Anyway, so here in the bar, there's this woman who's like a member of the resistance, and she's being interrogated. And Una comes in, still playing this part of being the collaborator. So she says, let me come in here and interrogate her myself, and takes over while Uhura and Mbenga make their way to the bar. And Uhura is very nervous about this whole undercover operation and pretending, she feels like they're putting themselves more at risk. But Mbenga talks her through it and says, you got to follow her lead and trust her as the commander of the mission. It's not the first time she's pretended to be somebody else. And he kind of coaches Uhura on the art of infiltration and fitting in and all these kinds of things. Like even his alias, like using his real first name, but as a fake last name based on something he would remember. And kind of helping her to learn those kinds of tricks, while Roman is kind of not too far down the bar, kind of keeping tabs on them. These 3 new strangers that have come in. Anyway, then back on the Enterprise, also in black and white, they have retrieved. This isn't the probe itself, is it?
Yeah, that's the probe.
Then what was the shuttle doing?
Tagging it.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's like laser guided bombs nowadays. You have to paint it with a laser sight to transport it on or something because of the radiation. Maybe.
All right. And the radiation's even these are
right. I know.
Like they're in the middle of engineering. You think if one area is shielded from this radiation, it's inside of engineering. But no, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
episode, by the way, it was called North Star.
North Star.
North Star.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Probably our least favorite episode of that whole season.
It was even worse than Minefield, but yes.
Yeah. So this conversation in engineering on the Enterprise is between Spock and La'an as they're pulling apart the shuttle, and there's some conversations here with Spock and La'an about the fact that when she was turned into a Vulcan last season, it kind of triggered something in her. Maybe her augment genetically enhanced DNA. Yeah. She's been seeing Chapel for, I guess, it's
a
like
few weeks
through
now,
for therapy sessions to try to figure it out and what's going on with her.
Therapy and examinations, like checking her DNA to
right. And she said,
sure
physiologically speaking, there's nothing going on.
So Nurse Chapel is much more than a nurse.
Than a nurse. I guess she's also at least a counselor of sorts, right?
Well, when she was introduced in the first episode, didn't they say something? She was like an exchange from like some center for genetic manipulation or something
like that. And we know canonically that Chapel does go on to become an MD herself, by the time, because that's mentioned by McCoy in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Anyway, but so La'an is talking to Spock about these things, and then they as they look at the probe, they find one of the memory disks is pulled out slightly, dislodged, and when they examine it, they find out that it's blank, right? There's something on it, and that's suspicious. And La'an's like, we need to get to the bottom of this, and Spock's like, it could just be nothing, it could just be an innocent explanation. Don't worry about it.
I don't think Spock would actually like immediately jump to like it's not that big of a deal kind of conclusion. Like La'an is the security officer. Like she's got a point. It's unusual. It should be investigated. And Spock, I think, character-wise, would have been like, we should investigate a little bit just to confirm or deny,
But Spock always did play the role of the skeptic on the original series, so it's not completely out of character for him here. But anyway, they take this to Pike, and while Spock is still sort of skeptical, Pike's like, "Well, I guess you can look like what? Like, are you doing anything else? Then sure, why not do this?" And she says she's going to look into it further. Do an investigation. So she gets authorization to do that, but even Pike's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. A loose disc? Who cares? What does that mean? Turns out that La'an's instincts are correct, just not in the way she thinks. But anyway, back to this planet. as Una continues this interrogation in quotes, but she's really just trying to get information from this resistance person, and the resistance person knows her. She knows Navette is not just a collaborator, but also a member of the resistance. In fact, the leader of the resistance. And that is kind of revealed, at least subtly, in this conversation here. And as Una, playing the part of Navette, is trying to get this information, the infiltrator says, "No, you told me that that if I remember under duress like this, I have to prove your test." And she ends up taking a suicide pill, which I guess was in her tooth or something. And she just cracks her tooth and boom, and then she's like foaming from the mouth a moment later. I guess before that happens, we do get Core. Core comes into the room for the first time, and we get introduced to Core. Okay, Core. I love the fucking the whole getup with like the coat and everything else.
The robes.
I think for a Klingon like Core, not to have a beard, I thought was an interesting choice. Like he's like normally all Klingon.
Oh yeah, good point.
Like he in original series had
like the
Fu Manchu.
Not quite the Fu Manchu going on. Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. If you remember in Discovery, Adam, we met Call, who we know is from the House of Core. How Call KOL is related to Core KOR, unclear. But we have met another member of this house before, and we find out from Mbenga that Core is like, we knew he was like an important Klingon, but his bloodline descends right from Kahless himself. He's like a descent, he's from a very prominent family, even amongst the Empire. And so we're getting a little bit of that information here. This is when the resistance fighter bites her tooth and gives herself the kill here. And then as she collapses,
and that right there is why I never eat Pop Rocks and soda.
You know what though? This is very like when you look at old World War II movies where there's like interrogation, he's on Allied, and they would crack the tooth and die of cyanide poisoning. Same with the other way around. That was a common theme in the old black and white post World War II movies.
When I used to watch Get Smart back in the day on reruns, there was the whole scene with Maxwell Smart and Siegfried from Chaos, where he's like, "What flavor's your suicide pill?" He's like, "We have Tutti Frutti." We can't even get any flavors in our suicide pills. Anyway, so then Core introduces himself or says hello to Navette as Una. Says, "What did you do with this prisoner? I thought I wanted him alive." And she's like, well, she plays it off like she just got carried away with the interrogation and somehow gave her poison or something. That's what it takes. And I don't know, the performance by this guy playing Core, I don't know, it was very magnetic.
It's all in the eyes. Those eyes, man, they are.
It's eyes, but the way he speaks, it's like the tone and all of it. It was very menacing in a weird way, but in an approachable way for somehow. Anyway, so then as Navette makes her way back over to her comrades, they're talking about what the hell they're going to do now. And where does this go? They're outside again. Trying to get
the checkpoint.
Yeah, this is when they try to leave. They try to leave the area because they feel like they're in over their head. But now there's this checkpoint there that wasn't there before, and now they have to get through. And they see all these people lined up, and you have to have an identification card, which they don't have. And so they try to, or one guy in line, his doesn't work or something. He ends up trying to run away, and he gets like shot down here by these Klingons. And Uhura reacts to this and tries to go over to help him, but that gets her pinched basically because the Klingons don't take well to that. And they want her ID card, but she doesn't have one, so she gets arrested, which Una and Mbenga are powerless to do anything about because they don't want to get arrested too. So they're like, okay, we can't help her if you also get arrested, so just let this go and try to roll with it. As Uhura is taken away and they move away from the checkpoint. Then we meet this, I guess we saw him in the bar. He's like he's the bartender.
Yeah.
Inside of the bar. We find out that he's actually like a pretty high up person in the Resistance. He introduced himself to Nivette, and he thinks that this is Nivette, and
Right.
but I guess more to Joseph specifically. He introduces himself, and they get to talking. Like, I thought this was one of the coolest shots.
It is a good shot, yeah.
Yeah, so like cool, like visuals. And like knowing that he's that bartender's like the leader of the Resistance and what's going on. And the other clue they get in this scene is that like, oh well, Nivette, you always keep your ID card in your office, but that's too risky now. You got to stop doing that. So we also get the interrogation scene, or the first of a few interrogation scenes with Uhura and Kor, where Kor is trying to find out who she is, and that she's thinking she's a member of the Resistance, which she denies, which is true. She's not a member of the Resistance, but she is not who she appears to be. And he's like, "We have ways to get you to talk," and then they bring in the Klingon mind scanner. Now, what the mind scanner does exactly, I'm not entirely clear. It couldn't tell she was from Starfleet, so that part is. Did they use one of these on Spock in that episode, like where we meet Kor? Is this like, I'm trying to remember where we saw the mind scanner before. I thought this was a Romulan device, but anyway.
I do not remember.
Anyway, they're going to use it on Uhura as we head back here to the bar. The
magic xylophone, right? Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Una and Mbenga trying to figure out what to do now is... this Klingon guy, we see this Klingon dust up in the bar, and we see that the wait staff inside of the bar are stealing these ID cards from the Klingons as they move around subtly. The Resistance.
So, your question on the scanner. So in Errand of Mercy, which is the original series, I can get this is the quote. I can get what I want through our mind scanner, but there would be very little of your mind left, Captain. So he was going after Kirk.
To be but then why does it leave Uhura so unscathed?
Who knew? Because Kirk's mind is not as developed. I don't know.
Okay,
I buy it.
I like the bartender by the way. I think he was great.
You like the bartender?
Yeah,
he was fun.
I thought he was kind of generic, but for me, he was serviceable, but I wouldn't say he stood out to me that much.
I think he's the stereotypical Resistance member bartender that you see in like a lot of these World War II style movies.
He's Sam. He's Sam.
He's Sam in Casablanca.
Casablanca. Yeah.
Played against Sam, not Sam Hinkton, but yeah. Okay, next scene is back on the Enterprise. This is more of La'an trying to crack this case and look into the investigation. She goes so that Vulcan ensign or Vulcan cadet, who
my favorite character of all time.
She's terrible.
She was set up in episode 1. We thought that her scene with her in episode 1 was pointless unless they brought her back. So I guess that turned out to work out. So we get more of. I don't even know her name right now yet, but
does it matter?
We'll see.
Asha.
Asha, the Klingon, the rude Vulcan. Sorry, not a Klingon, a Vulcan. Anyway, so she's like, I'm busy, but doing important stuff. But La'an's like, well, I guess you couldn't, or she flatters her, right? She flatters her. She's like, Uhura says you're best at this kind of frequency stuff, and she's like, well, I am, but that will get. But I guess I have stuff. I have stuff. I'm waiting to come back anyway, so I can do this. And so she does the scan, and this reveals it leads her to Scotty, right?
Yeah,
who's now best friends with Erica.
Why not?
Like, I was trying to understand it. Where like Scotty and Uhura, or Scotty and Erica, like sharing the same quarters, or were they just like having lunch together because they're best buds now?
I think they were just hanging out.
Okay, having Cuban sandwiches together.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
With mustard.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not?
You know what? I'll take this over the constant bickering that they had before.
Would agree with you.
I mean, I'll take it.
Sure. So
at least it was earned in the last episode, you know?
Yeah.
It didn't just happen for no reason.
It was like these two hated each other, now they love each other. And I'm like, okay. Like, if you just told me that they had become friends off camera, I would have accepted that too. But sure, it's fine. And so this thing that led La'an to Scotty turns out to be something else entirely. He was trying to set up something to help the away team at the right moment.
From what I understand, because of like the position of the planets, the radiation, and yada yada yada, they were trying to track where the Klingon cruiser was. So I guess Scotty and Erica figured out a way to like ping it with a signal, and so they had this like intermittent connection with the cruiser to locate it, to like track it. Like a sonar type kind of deal. I think
it was something like
it was something like that.
He was working on a completely other thing than what La'an was investigating.
Right.
So this leaves La'an kind of like, okay, then there's something maybe else here, or maybe that was it, right? So she's left to investigate this further.
Yeah, like Scotty like looks at the signal and it's like there is something else there, I think.
Right, which is what will lead her to eventually to Chapel.
Yeah.
Okay, then back to Uhura getting the interrogation / mind scanner
with a Rorschach test.
He gives her a Rorschach test.
He gives her a Rorschach test.
What do you see?
What do you see? Right. Like,
I see like what do they call that? The Triforce from Hyrule, but with wings. Anyway, that's my version. She gets the mind scanning, and
I see the American Eagle.
I see 5 lights.
There are only 4, but actually there are lights in this scene, and there are way more than 4.
There's a shit ton of lights.
Yeah. Anyway, the mind scanner, but yeah, he's like, where did you grow up? She's like, in a village near a forest, and he's like, what color are the trees? And she's like, green. I mean, I don't really know what green is.
So why would they even, if this is the? I mean, I guess he's an import, but if you don't know what color is, I mean, that would be a great way to identify people as not being legit.
Her excuse, which I don't even know why they buy it, which I think they do, is like she's read about
colors.
She's read about trees on other planets being green, so she's imagined them as being green, which apparently is good enough.
It's good enough for Core. He's like,
I guess
he's not the best interrogator. Let's face it. He's not like a detective like Batman in this Gotham City. I would say.
Look at James Thornburg last comment there.
Universe's wimpiest interrogation.
Yeah, because I don't know, because they want to make Core villainous, but on the other hand, this is a character who's kind of portrayed in a heroic sense in Deep Space Nine. So he's kind of, I don't know, he's kind of a mixed bag, right?
He had people to do the interrogation. Like, let's
he's a hands-on overlord, I guess.
Well, the other big red flag of this whole scene is like the second Rorschach test. It literally has the Starfleet Delta in the middle of the ink blot. Like,
do you see a Starfleet?
Yeah, and she's like, no,
I've read Starfleet. Sorry.
Just come on, guys.
Yeah, they turn up the intensity here as we go away from this session, and then back to Una and Joseph, who are looking around Navette's office. They don't know what to find, but then they find a face scanner that opens up a secret door into a secret office area for her. That's nice.
Because of course.
And inside of that, they find a few things, including some of her documents about what their plans were around the EMP. Is this meant to be Klingon or their native language? I think it's the native language.
I think it's the native language, and she found the plans for the Klingons were going to like screw up the atmosphere so that any ships trying to enter in outside of this one specific area would like vaporize or blow up or whatever. And then their counter plan to stop it is this EMP bomb.
Right. I guess we're jumping ahead a bit here, but yeah, the initial pad a little bit, but it's okay. Yeah, because they find this one picture here, which is the bartender guy and his daughter. and presumably his wife. But we see Nivette, who is a dead ringer. You could almost say she's a real dead ringer. She it basically looks like exactly like Una. Is actually played by Rebecca Romaine as well, if you can believe it. And they said this thing about there's this throwaway line about the doppelgangers from Mbenga, right? He's like, in this vast universe, it's amazing. We don't all run into our doppelgangers all the time. I'm like, is this something we're gonna be doing more of? Like, where you just happen to walk down a street and everybody knows who you are,
and have the same personality and the same
mannerisms and
everything.
Like even identical twins, you could probably tell. Like who would even be trying to fool you. But anyway, this is a probability kind of argument, so it's hard to go against. So they're getting a sense here. They find this memory key, right? And they look more inside of it. I think this is where they find the blueprints to this munitions place, which is part of what we saw Core interrogating Uhura about. But we also get this visual of like, okay, this is what what's this place called? Metalis or Italian?
Berlin. Just call it Berlin.
It's Berlin. Then, like before the Klingons came, it didn't have blue skies, but it had nice daytime skies. And then like the Klingons came, and I guess did the Klingons bring the blimps? I was a little clear about that part. And then it got more like, I guess, gothic, if you will. And then
the darkness came.
Yeah, but we also know this planet has like this electromagnetic field that is like that they figure out that they're going to use to basically make it impossible to enter the planet from space or to go into space from the planet. That will affect. There will only be like some kind of portal, teleportation portal that the Klingons can only use. But there's this device, this EMP that they want to use to like prevent that, which I guess is what this little stick thing is that we're going to see at the end. So they're trying to figure that out, but they're still trying to find what happened to the real Nivette. They find her key card, but where did she go? Until they finally find like this chamber in this back room. And when they open it up, they find gasp. It's Rebecca Romaine again, but bloody with a bloody mouth. And Joseph confirms, yes, she is dead. She's dead, Una. And I don't know. There's like this disturbs Una because she like feels like she's seen her own death, and he's like, "But that wasn't you. That's just someone who looks like you." You get over it. Trying to talk her out of it.
Omega says, "I'm surprised we haven't run into more dead doppelgangers of ourselves in this universe."
Yeah, like that's just his philosophy. Like nothing's weird to him. I think
it's not anymore. No.
Back to Uhura getting more interrogations, but then is this where Core lets her go? He's like, because the resistance like sent a key card because Nivette Una asked for that because she says, I need that person to pull off the mission. So and Core just like, okay, you can go, just don't lose your key card again or I'm gonna mind scan you. Like that's totally my thing. I'll completely forget about that thing you said about the trees before. See you later. And she just she leaves and she makes her way back to Una and Joseph and says, and like she talks about being horrible, but she says, there was the whole scene where like Core was speaking Klingon to not just Klingon, but a very specific dialect of Klingon that's not widely spoken. And that they thought she couldn't understand, but she could, and she kind of unveils the entire plan of the Klingons to take over the electromagnetic field and everything else. And this is where Mbenga was touched that she picked her fake last name was like named after the village she grew up in Kenya, I think.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway. So then there's a scene here in the bar where the music's playing. Is this like the whole frequency thing? I didn't understand. Okay, I didn't understand this scene because
the Klingons came in singing.
Yeah, they come in singing, but then like the bar people, they start like singing their own song, or they start tapping the tables and playing their own music, and this seems to drive Core nuts.
Well, they don't get to sing their song, I guess.
They were singing like their Klingon drinking song, and and he shuts the piano, and I didn't get this scene. I just didn't get it. Like what was going on with it.
Okay, either the people were banging their fists in accordance with the Klingon singing. Oh, that they've sung it before. I don't know. I can't sing it. They've sung it before in Star Trek, and maybe he was offended by the fact that non-Klingons were singing it, or
I think it's this one.
No,
it's not that one. It's is it?
It's
this one.
It was either he was offended by non-Klingon singing it, or if we're going with like the whole French resistance plot kind of thing, Casablanca, maybe they were singing like a local planet song to the Metallans or Metallises or whatever they are. Maybe that was it. I'm not sure either.
I'll accept all of your speculation as valid. So anyway, okay, and so after all this is when Una decides we got to stop this from happening, and Mbenga's like, this is not our fight. We need to get out of here. Like this is like we're way in over our heads, and Una's like, no way. We're gonna stop this. We're gonna stop these Klingons from taking over this planet permanently. I'm gonna help these people. Quickly back to the Enterprise, where La'an presents her findings to Spock, and Spock is all skeptical, and she's like, you don't believe me, do you? And he's like, no, I don't think that this is valid. And then she's all offended and she leaves. That's it. But
yeah, pretty much.
Back to Core, who's talking to Nivette, Una.
Yeah, he basically says
they drink the blood wine together, right?
That, and I think he says something along the lines of like he was impressed with Una's new hire, because Una basically tells Core that she knows about his plan to electrify the planet.
She speaks my very specific Klingon dialect, and she's like, oh yeah, she speaks many languages. That's why she works for me. And he's all impressed with Nivette. He's like, you should have been Klingon. It's unfortunate you were born into this inferior alien species, but your soul is Klingon, blah blah blah.
James made a comment about a scene from Casablanca. Now I have to watch Casablanca again. I can't remember it.
I haven't seen it.
Been a while.
Anyway, so she's
James,
really.
What is that scene you're referring to? I missed that when that comment popped up.
It's the bar scene where in Casablanca, basically they're at the saloon and the Nazis come in, and the people in the bar before the Nazis come in, they're singing like a resistance song, I think.
Got it. So it's okay.
Yeah, it's an homage again.
Yeah. But Core is quite taken with Nivette, Una, when you say.
Mm-hmm.
Even licks his lips a little bit.
I did kind of hurl in my mouth a little bit when you did that. Just bleh.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're heading. So there's this, the scene where like they're zooming in, right? And this is where they're breaking into the facility because she's going to stop this. And then we got back here with they're trying to help her get through the blueprint so she can basically launch this EMP. That's the plan,
right? And they say the line like, you have to be careful with it when you leave, because if it passes through a checkpoint, it'll set off their alarms and set off the alarm. and set off the bomb, I think is what they said.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So then Roman, remember Roman? He's back and he's betrayed. Well, he isn't really betrayed because he's always worked for the Klingons. He's never been a member of the Resistance.
Yeah.
But we find out that he knew that Navette was in the Resistance, found out about it, killed Navette or poisoned Navette, right? And then she eventually died. Then when Una showed up and was saying, "I'm Navette," like, I don't understand what he thought was going on.
He was playing along because Chekhov's gun. I don't know.
But then he says, "I know you're an imposter. I've already figured it out." Well, then why? Like, okay, like you're really slow on this, Roman. Anyway, but eventually, like, Una gets the drop on him. Gets the gun away from him, gets him down on the ground, and gives him a chance to join her. Like, join with me, and and help save your planet. Blah blah blah, but he decides not to, and he runs away to the Klingons. Little does he know, she's planted like the detonator on him, right? Because knowing he would go right to the checkpoint. Quickly here, La'an, after her conversation with Spock, and Spock didn't believe her, she's really starting to doubt herself. She goes to see Chapel, and as she's explained this whole thing, Chapel's like, "Oh, she figured out my plot." She's like, "You didn't look inside the transporter buffer, did you?" And realizing that Chapel explains that a ship called the USS Yang recently crossed the Klingon border. It was a medical ship, and it provided humanitarian assistance, and they had to kind of erase all trace of this to prevent a war from breaking out. And Chapel knows the commanding officer of the Yang, and she's been behind this whole signal that La'an's been investigating for the entire episode in the B plot. And Chapel, I guess, can't let La'an think she's crazy, so she comes clean to her alone and asks for a favor to keep this secret. Don't expose this secret.
Which, I mean, tell me what you guys think. I don't think Pike would have cared all that much. I think he would have helped Chapel in this situation if the ship was there just for humanitarian aid. I think with Pike's previous actions so far, I think he would have been willing to go along with it and keep it from Starfleet, because Chapel implies if this got out, people would get fired or incarcerated or what have you. But I think Pike would have helped out if you found out.
Well, I think that this is going to come back in a future episode, and I think it's going to be like, well, I would have helped out if you had come to me, but since you didn't tell me the truth, now I'm throwing the book at you. I'm a little bit unclear about how much of a rule follower Pike really is, and how much he likes to go outside the rules and the sort of direct chain of command.
So I was always in the impression, Pike was a rule follower, but certainly, I mean, if Kirk is on the scale of the worst rule follower to, maybe
Picard.
No, I was thinking of Picard. No, Picard broke rules.
Picard broke rules. They all did. I guess Jane went the least because she didn't really have a boss for most of the show.
Oh, you know who the best rule follower is? The Captain of Grissom.
Yeah, but he died.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, we do things by the book here. Archer followed the rules most of the time.
No, until season 2.
Yeah.
That's because there were hardly any rules to follow.
He broke every rule.
He's like, we're running the rules as we go.
Yeah.
But Kirk a bit. Maybe Pike the most. We'll see. Anyway, then this is where Roman tries to run through the checkpoint, and he's trying to go tell Kor the secret, and then but back in the bar, Una's looking all confident because she knows what's about to happen. When Roman tries to go through the checkpoint, he sets it off here because he has the detonator to the EMP in his pocket, and this is right when Kor walks up on him, and Kor is like, "You traitor, I thought you were with me," and he just has his guards kill him right in the street. But then it sets off the EMP, which destroys all the electricity around the ship. Even the Klingon battle cruiser, which I guess was just hovering above the city here.
Very, very close to the city.
Yeah, very close. I didn't pick up on that until I just looked at that there. And we see
some would say conveniently close.
Conveniently close. As all the power goes out. And they're the Metallans are all celebrating and they're all happy because now they can escape the planet temporarily if they want to, or they can try to sabotage the Klingons' permanent place here. But and then Navette, she puts the bartender guy like in charge. Like she doesn't reveal that I was not actually I never was Navette. She just pretends like she was, and she turns it all over to him.
Oh, I thought they said that during this scene after Lon comes back or Una comes back that like she told the bartender, like they told the bartender everything that happened and explained the entire situation, how Una wasn't Navette. And I thought that they had like cleared that all up.
I don't know, Jim. Like,
I know.
Sometimes there's like a throwaway line that I'm supposed to like know explains these things, but like they don't spend a lot of time on it. A good question here from James. He says, "Why was the shuttle not screwed up by the EMP?"
It's hardened.
Out of range?
Out of range.
Maybe.
The shuttle is hardened against the EMP. That's what I'm gonna go with that.
But not the Klingon battlecruiser?
No.
Okay. So
maybe EMP was more like an egg oval shaped and went straight up further than out. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
It doesn't make sense. I'm with Jim. The other James. I'm with James on this. Anyway. So then, this is where Lon talks to Pike, and she's like, "Yeah, nothing to see here. It was all nothing." And he's like, "If you want to tell me stuff, you can. Like I'm approachable. You can come to me." She's like, "Oh no, sir, it's all good. No, nothing to see here." And she walks away.
I want to tell my captain that I might be messed up as security officer. Yeah.
And I'm hiding something from you, Captain. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You didn't stab another person, did you?
Not today.
Okay, good.
Anyway, so then we'll see if this comes back in a future episode. And then finally, Una, Mbenga, and Uhura make their way out of the planet. They're flying home in their shuttle. There's a whole conversation. It's a fairly lengthy conversation here with Joseph and Una, where Joseph talks about things he's done in the war, like in the past, and because she's kind of talking about what she did here, and I don't know. Did you follow this story? I need to start watching this show with subtitles on, I think, because Mbenga literally whispers every line.
Yeah, it's a little
quiet. But he said like the peril of a healer is you have to go in and like save people. But then I also happen to be like this special ops black ghost guy who kills people all the time. I don't really. Oh, okay. Like I'm like, what kind of a doctor are you? A doctor that kills people? Like you can't help yourself? And
he was a doctor that killed a shit ton of Klingons beforehand. I guess the message is like sometimes in order to do the most healing, you have to do a little bit of bad. I guess it boils down
I guess so. Did she do the right thing here? And
which of course she did. She defeated the Klingon Nazis. Come on.
Yeah, Klingons being Nazis, not cool. Yeah. And getting involved. But I was more disturbed. I'm more and more disturbed by Mbenga every time I learn more about his backstory. I'm like, this man should not be a doctor. Or maybe not even in Starfleet. Unless he's in Black Ops or something, or he's just
Well, he did take the equivalent of space bath salts and fuck up a bunch of people. So
true.
Yeah, I mean,
and so did Chapel for that matter.
And so did Chapel too.
Yeah. Anyway, then they're approaching the barrier of this radiation that makes it black and white. And as they come out here, we get the final shots of Una transitioning back into color as the episode ends. And that's it. We finally get a color shot. Sorry, it took a while to get through it, guys, but here we go. Adam, do you have any special trivia for us that we can get into? Okay, let's hear it right after this.
Here's an interesting piece of trivia. Have you ever wondered why most bubblegum is pink? Me too.
Well, all right, you're up, Adam. You always mute yourself, but it's okay.
Why is this muted every time I come out of this? Okay.
No.
So, Dave, please say the title of this episode again because I love the way you were saying it at the beginning.
A Case of Chiaroscuro.
Okay, so what does this mean? It means it's an episode built around contrast, visually, morally, and narratively, and obviously the interplay of light and shadow. Jim, happy with that?
Absolutely. That was a banger.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about some interesting fun facts. The episode wasn't actually filmed in black and white. Even though the final product is in monochrome, the episode was shot in full color, including the AR wall environments and costumes. The production team designed every color choice to specifically for how it would be translated into black and white contrast when it was converted.
Well, they didn't do that on the Enterprise.
No, they didn't do that. It looked flat. The cinematographer had been lobbying for a noir episode for years. Director of photography Glenn Keenan repeatedly has showrunners let him do a shoot on black and white episode for years. Season 4 finally gave him that chance, and the team built a story around it so he could fulfill his ambition.
Okay, you're done. You're done.
He's had his choice. He's done now.
You got your black and white episode. It's over.
You know what? Speaking of that, since the episode came out in color, I'm going to get out of the color as well. Go back into color. No, I can't do it.
I couldn't find the option to switch over, so
there we go.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Where was I here? Apple TV accidentally released the episode early with a typo. The Apple TV episode dropped on July 30th, 2 weeks ahead of schedule. Even misspelled the title, omitting the first R in say it again, Dave.
Well, without the R?
No, it's okay.
Chiaroscuro.
Here we go, Chiaroscuro. The noir aesthetic was justified with an in-universe technobabble. You said that at the beginning here. The black and white was not just stylistic; it was explained from radiation from Matar's sun that removes color perception. That was good. I like that.
Yeah,
just don't
I
do
like that there was a scientific explanation. Sure.
Yeah. The episode is a lit homage to Casablanca. The creative team described as the episode as bold and entirely black and white ode to Casablanca, complete with intrigue, moral ambiguity, and smoky resistant versus occupation politics.
So every episode is a tribute to something else. Is that what's happening here?
Gimmick trek. That's what it was. Gimmick trek.
Like, this is the Casablanca. Last week it was Hangover. The week before that, what was it? Like a ghost story, basically, right? Oh, it was Event Horizon. And then before that, they went back to, like, I don't know, like Jurassic Park or, something.
I wouldn't say that was Jurassic Park, but okay. All right.
Or I guess some time travel, like travel to the center of the Earth, maybe would be more of a.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Cora's appearance is a deep cut Trek callback, of course. The episode features Commander Kor, a classic Klingon from the original series in Deep Space Nine, played here by Damore Barnes. His return was kept secret until the release.
Well, he was good. Like he was I thought he was the best part of the episode, actually.
He was fun. The actor clearly had a lot of fun playing him.
Yeah. Una's double is part of a classic noir trope. The plot centers on Una being mistaken for a local resistance leader, which is a classic noir device, involving doubles, mistaking identity, and moral shadows. The episode ties in with Una's long-running Illyrian secret arc. Her need to impersonate someone else mirrors her years of hiding her genetic identity. And then finally, the Klingon occupation storyline leaves the planet's fate unresolved. The ending deliberately avoids closure, leaving Matar future under the Klingon rule unknown, which is another noir type thing where things are just not resolved.
The Klingons probably just left them alone.
Yeah, and plus, weren't there a shit ton of ships that were leaving the planet after the EMP bomb?
So yeah, there was at least a bunch of refugees who seemed to get out.
Yeah,
but, like, obviously, I don't think the entire population got out.
Not the entire population, but it seemed like clearly on their way to it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Or Mataran.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to say here. Oh, sorry. This is talking about the explanation of why it became black and white. They also say they call out here it also calls out episodes like the Tholian Web where there's an alteration of appearances. And then Una's doppelganger continues Strek's long tradition of doubles. And again, when you think of all the mirror stuff,
Yeah.
The enemy within in the original series and second chances. So I guess there's some callbacks there. And
Oh, that's where I know him from.
where?
Sorry. So Damore Barnes, who played Kor, he was also on the show Supernatural.
Right.
Oh.
And he played the Raphael, the Archangel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I know this actor. Where do I know him from?
Yeah.
He was also on the cast of Street Sense on White TV for all the Canadians out there who are millennials, I guess, only because.
And one more thing here. I don't know that show. This is just my own comment. To see Una finally have a really good episode for her, where she's not singing, is I think it was a good episode for her.
Yeah, because it's always like she's always like the last name in the credits is like, and Rebecca Romaine, right? So she's like a lot of the episodes she's barely in them, So
Yeah.
they gave her quite a bit more.
But when she's on the she plays a very like one-sided, one-dimensional first officer role, and when she breaks out like last week, it's because she's doing something that she doesn't
crazy, or she's like, she's wild. But here she got like a legit episode where she's in command. It's her decisions, her agency, and she has to live with the results.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last like Una centered episode would have been her trial. Yeah, at Astra, episode 2 in season 2, right?
That's in season 2. That aired back in 2023.
Yeah, and there really hasn't been another Una episode since.
No, I don't mind her. Like it was a good episode for her.
Yeah, she's always been a good strong member of the cast. Like she was already established, famous before she was even on this show. Like she can carry it.
It's pretty amazing that with such an established career behind her, she is like not pushed aside, but certainly not a major player.
They don't use her as much as you would think. Yeah, that's how I sometimes feel with it. But they gave her, at least in this one, they gave her more. But it had let me ask you this: if this episode had been in color and it hadn't been film noir, if it had been basically the same storyline where she goes down to a planet and she has to help the planet, would this episode be as good?
Yes, I think
so.
Like actually, I would have liked to seen the costuming in color on that planet.
Yeah,
I think it would have been interesting to see that. I would have liked because the costuming was great.
Like even if the planet had none of the Art Deco, none of that like 1940s aesthetic, if it just been like some random alien planet that they have to kind of hide in, this was fun, but like it was kind of like the storyline. That's not what I like about it. I don't like. I
don't think they needed to do that, but they needed to satisfy this, cinematographer, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Or I'm gonna quit.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Me personally, I do like the World War II resistance film noir type films. I enjoy those. So for me, it was a nice little kind of callback, even though the other callback episodes have really bugged me. This one, I liked it. If it had been in color and they got rid of the stylization of the world, but they kept the same plot, like almost beat for beat plot, I'd say I'd probably still enjoy it just as much.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair statement.
I think it's fair too. Okay, well, Adam, do you have any more for us?
No, I didn't wrap it up. Let's go to ratings.
Let's go to ratings. Okay, let's go to ratings, everyone, and bring this in. One second, I'm gonna get full screen on this side. Change screen. Okay. A Case of Chiaroscuro. Let's put the rating on it. I'm Italian.
Chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro. You do it so much better than me, Jim.
Chiaroscuro.
Chiaroscuro. How about you, Adam? Can you do it?
I'm not doing it.
Okay. Ratings for this episode. I'm going to give it. Like, I like it, but I don't love it. Like, I feel like 7 is where I'm at. Adam.
6.5.
See, I was going to get up a 6.5, and then I wanted to be generous. Jim.
You know what? Even I have to admit I've been a bit of a Debbie Downer for the past couple episodes. So I will be generous because I enjoyed this episode for what it was. I will say 7.
A 7 from Jim. So
I'm trying to be positive, people. I'm trying to be positive.
he's trying to be positive. He doesn't know if he'll succeed at it, but
It probably won't last very much longer, but I'm trying.
Dave, IMDb is at a 5.8 with 257 votes right now.
5.8. Wow. Okay. Okay. So we are averaging
I'll check last week's. See if it updated.
Yeah, we are averaging a 6.8 between the three of us tonight. James in the chat gave it a 5.
Wow.
Stargazer's got a good question too.
Like this season?
So his question is: so is this season considered Star Trek level story concepts or gimmick Trek? Well, maybe. Like,
God, that's kind of a loaded question, isn't it?
well, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But if every episode is some kind of reference to or remake of something else,
the next one's the puppet episode.
The next one is the puppet one, so that's concerning. And I love the Muppets. Like, I don't hate any puppets by any means, but
yeah.
James says contrived. Well, maybe.
I will say, you guys remember how much I loved the first episode? I thought it was a great first.
You all gave 10s.
Kicker. We pretty much everybody gave 10. I think you're the only dissenting vote.
Me and Shaggy.
But the other 2 episodes, yeah, gimmicky. This one, it is gimmicky, but I did enjoy it. But I mean, you know, call a spade a spade. It is a gimmick episode.
I'm not minding this. I mean, clearly I'm not. I gave 10s to everything except this episode, but I've enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed it, even if it's remakes of whatever. Like, they've been good. They've entertained me. They've made me laugh. Even this episode, I gave it 6.5. I still liked it. It's just slow.
I guess it depends on how much you value originality.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's getting hard. Like, they've been now at this. How many years have we been doing shows? Like, since the post Enterprise.
Discovery. Hold on. Let me count this. Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, Academy, Prodigy. That's at least 6. Am I forgetting anything else?
We're not counting short treks, right?
I guess
no, but then short treks
will be 7 if you have short treks in there.
The stupidest movie ever.
31.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's like, I think we're coming to the conclusion here, guys. That, and we've talked around this, but it's time for a break.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. I think I mentioned it last time that it after season 5 ends, we should just let it breathe for a bit, give it a few years, like wait until what was it, 29 would be like appropriate because it was 30 years since the motion picture came out or something. Like, give it time to get the right people in here, because it was the last episode, because there were rumors that Paramount was riding on the success of the next movie, if it actually happens, if it's a success or not, if Star Trek continues on, and if, like, even if the script doesn't go well, they're just gonna nix it for a while and just put it on ice until somebody else comes along that's not Kurtzman.
I mean,
Yeah.
Jim, you've missed in previous seasons and whatnot. We've talked about like coming out of Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Enterprise, Voyager. Like when Enterprise was canceled, I was like, okay, I'm okay with that because it was just so much. Like we had done 15 years of it.
Yeah, and plus, right about the same time that Enterprise stopped,
6 and 30.
Nemesis had been out for a couple of years before
Nemesis
Enterprise
came out in
ended.
2002.
So yeah, like 2 years before Enterprise ended, right?
But when you get a pause like that, it makes you miss
Yeah.
you miss it. You miss it even more, and like you're watching reruns and you're doing all this other stuff.
Right.
But
And maybe what happened was that pause, like the people wanting it back, got the want for it to come back overshadowed people planning it out correctly. And
I don't say that because when they started with Discovery the first back end? I guess
Discovery's the first, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tough right. That was a tough first season.
It was a tough one, and then they were trying to course correct, and then like I guess the next show was Lower Decks. Like that was the next thing that came, right? And then we got Picard.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And it's been an interesting era, I would say, for Star Trek. This last
I remember
10 years.
saying coming out of season 1 of Strange New Worlds to you guys, like it was the best Trek for me in years.
Season 1 was good.
Yeah, I still like this show. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, but all of these shows put together, and this whole last 10 years of Star Trek, I'm just kind of like for a sports analogy, like as a fan of my team, sometimes like we just need a new coach, we need a new GM. Let's get someone new in there, see what they do with it. Like we just change the guard over, and not the same team, the same creative team we basically had for the last 10 years. And they've done some good stuff, and they've done some sort of mediocre stuff, in my opinion, and even bad at times.
We all agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, right? But even like 2009, Star Trek 2009, and those 3 movies, like I enjoyed them. I think that, and I said it last week, they brought a brand new set of fans into Star Trek, which I think was great. They don't need a pause.
Well, that's according to Stargazer Fish. He's saying just make good shows, like like that's what
that's what we're saying, man. But they got to get rid of some people.
I'm saying let's take this back, let's retool this entire team, and then come back with something new, something fresh. Is what I like to see.
On this whole line, I did have a realization last night because I was skimming through Paramount, and there's a show on there, a TV series called Limitless. It's based on the movie with Bradley Cooper, right? And I've seen the series before. I enjoy the show. Every episode's kind of like a little homage. Like they do a Ferris Bueller's homage episode in it, right? And then there's one that's like a superhero stylized type of episode. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I paid attention to the credits. And Alex Kurtzman is one of the showrunners for that series. And then all of a sudden, all these lines started connecting, and like, okay, that's why Strange New Worlds is like this right now. So
well, every writer, every showrunner has a style, and it might be your style, it might not. And I don't say that Kurtzman, for the most part, he is my style, but like I appreciate he's trying to make new Star Trek for the last 10 years. But I'm like, time to move on to a new era. We're trying to build a new dynasty here. Sorry, Alex, you're gonna have to. He's made so much money. He'll be fine. So. It will be all right. So anyway, that's sort of my take on it. Looking ahead, yes, we've already mentioned it is the puppet episode next time. So it is called Level 5 Transporter Accident. Oh, Jody's head is going to explode with this episode. A bizarre transporter, a transporter malfunction turns most of the Enterprise crew into puppets, leaving Spock alone to fight and reclaim the ship. Okay, like that sounds like a great concept. Okay,
like fight. He's got to fight puppets?
He's got to fight the puppets.
This is going to be good. Like, if they do it well, and guys, if we just settle down and watch the episode.
No.
Oh, I'll watch it.
I I gotta send you guys a clip. Have you ever seen the YouTube film Our RoboCop remake?
No.
No.
Okay, it's like 25 different YouTube content creators. They all get together and they were each given a scene from the original RoboCop movie, and they redid it like in their own style. And the scene where Ed 209 comes into the conference room, they've got this guy dressed up in like a cardboard Ed 209 suit, and there's little puppets running around. And the guy that gets shot, the model, it's a puppet, and the guns keep going, and like fluff and cotton is flying all over the place. I want to see that happen in this episode. I want to see cotton and fluff just flying all over the place, making it PG bloody. I want to see that now. I'm excited for this episode.
We'll see how many red shirts get ripped apart into felt.
Hey, Dave, the Narduzzi has made an appearance in the chat.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Hello.
The Narduzzi.
What do you say? I haven't seen this episode yet. Just popping in for a quick hello for the beautiful Kenogami Lake. Oh, she's in Honor Province. Kenogami. Is that near you? Or is that...
No, it's up by Kirkland Lake.
Nah, that's Japan. Come on.
Yeah, Jim, it's Japan.
It's
so,
Japan.
Well, hello, Narduzzi. We hope you catch up on the show and can join us on a podcast sometime. Okay, I don't know what's sound to play for the end here because I didn't pull any from this particular episode, so I'm going to just play
I've got one more thing to mention, Dave. I know we've gone late here, but there's only 3 of us. We've gone late. Just reading the history of Christine Chapel on the original series, there was actually 2 ship's counselors that were killed off on the original series. One was in the same episode she was introduced. Anyway, Christine Chapel did take on the role of counselor just because she thought she had to. Yeah.
Really?
Well, that kind of recontextualizes a lot of the story with her then, right?
Yeah.
Because if she's actually meant to be like, we're looking out for the mental well-being, like,
nobody was there. Nobody was on the ship to do that work. So
she assumed the role, but she didn't have any training in it.
Correct.
Is that why?
Well,
okay.
I think she's a healthcare professional. Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, it was just interesting read to see that.
Okay, no worries. Okay, cool. Okay, and just one more thing before we sign off. On Mondays we cover Firefly right now, or we've been going through all those episodes. We'll be up to episode 10 this Monday. It's called War Stories. Look out for that on Monday night. And look out this Sunday. I'm going to be on with Jody, Jeff, Kevin, and myself over on the Trivial Debates channel for the 100th episode of Trivial Debates. I'll be hosting, so look out for that. Okay, we're playing this clip to sign us off for tonight. Thanks to Adam, thanks to Jim, and everyone else, and we'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. Have a great night.
Oh, no. Not Alpha Braga 4.
Oh, yeah. Alpha Braga 4.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on Trivial Debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.